Hey, this is Rob from JTRpodcast.com, and this is the Palace of Mad King Ludwig, another tile game from Bezier Games where you're building something, and the tiles you pick from have different costs depending on their position on the track or what price has been set in the case of the castles of Mad King Ludwig. But in this case, rather than everyone building their own either suburb or castle, everyone's working together to build a rather large palace, and I do mean a very large palace. The board at the end of the table was as wide as the table, and you sort of build out from that, and you can end up going off the side if you're not careful. So basically on your turn you are going to take one of those tiles and you're going to place it in the palace, and you can start from where the path comes in to the palace and you sort of build out from there. And each of the rooms has a different ability depending on its colour, different types of rooms for the castle, palace even. And each of the doors has a different colour, and each of those colours has a swan, and if you connect the like colour doors, so if you connect two blue doors together, you'll get to take a blue swan token. You could place stairways, and stairways lead you down or upstairs from a ground floor up onto the first floor, and there's ways you have to connect those up. And once you've taken your tile at the end of your turn, you shuffle up the row and you reveal tiles from the top of the stack. And that's basically all you're doing on your turn. Is you're taking a tile, putting it into the palace, shuffling them up, revealing them. Eventually you're going to reveal these spaces that will make you place a moat, because when you complete a room, meaning all the doorways in that room are surrounded, you put a token on it to show that it's yours, you get the bonus of that room. All the rooms have different bonuses depending on the type of room. You'll flip your token over to the side to show that you've claimed that reward, and then play will continue. But eventually you're going to reveal these symbols here. This one just says at the end of your turn, when you've completed a room, you put a moat tile out, and the moat's going to start from the back of the board and kind of fill around the outside. As you can see on the video there, the moat's going to start to come around the outside of both sides of the palace. And as more of these stacks go down, you're going to put more and more moat tiles out every time a room's complete, so this moat's going to fill around faster. That's obviously the game end trigger, is when the moat gets all the way around the palace. But there are other things to look at as well. You have your own player board with these kind of weird ridges in the side, and you have your little symbols on there, and you count the number of buildings, or rooms to be more precise, of each type as you're building them out. And you can see the left of my player board there is a heart, and that shows you that is endgame scoring. That works the same as Suburbia, where there is going to be a goal to achieve, and you can see here there's 4 public endgame goals as well. Whoever's got the most or the least of a certain thing is going to score that many points. In the case of a tie, I believe nobody gets it like Suburbia, but yes, that's true, nobody gets it, because there are other things you can do. On your player board you can see the 6 tokens. You can see that heart tile is kind of slotted in upright, and it kind of slots in that little gap, but if you turn it diagonally, it means you're pointing at one of those 6 points, and those are different abilities you can get. And the middle one on the right, the one with the tick, says that if you share a goal, you also score the points for it as well. So you kind of score the points even if you tie, is what I'm trying to say. The top one gives you 10 points, the bottom one gives you 3. I can't remember if that's swans of any colour or special swans. There are these black swans that are special. The bottom right one means you add 2 moat tiles, and the ones on the top right are interesting. They give you a discount on tiles, because when you buy the tiles, we can look at the board, you can see there are different costs. The further to the left they are, they're going to cost you swans. You have to trade in swans to take those tiles. The 2 to the right don't cost you anything. But if you activate rooms to use these abilities, you can give yourself a swan discount, which is interesting. And when the moat gets all the way around the palace, you're going to score points for the different types of rooms you've built. You're going to score them for your own personal goals, if you've managed to get the most or least of whatever it is you're trying to get the most or least of. You score all the public goals, you get points for having rooms downstairs. Some of the rooms in the palace will give you points. They're called utility rooms, and you get points for each thing you have. So it might say how many swans you've got, you get a point per swan or whatever. The activity rooms will give you a set number of points. You score points, as you can see on the player board down here, for sets of swans in different colours, and most points wins. And I begrudgingly played this because I do have a bit of an issue, a bit of a personal issue that I won't get into. I refuse to play Castles of Mad King Ludwig, so I played this begrudgingly, and actually it's really good. It does have that nice Suburbia feel. Suburbia is one of my favourite games of all time, so having this mechanism where the tiles are shuffling down, you're balancing your income, your swans. Do you want to spend swans in order to get a room that you really need, or do you just take a free one and hope that room's still there when it comes back around to your turn? And it's a little bit cheaper, even free. That's the balance you've got to take. The board itself, as I said, is huge. It really starts to spread out as the game progresses. You can see the picture of the final thing. That is actually, it's hard to scale how big that is just by looking at it, but that is not a small table, and the board on the end sort of was full width. And as we were building this palace out, I was like, I hope we don't go near the edge of the table, because we've got 3 players there. You've got your player boards as well. As you can see, the player board at the top's taking up quite a bit of room with all the little tokens slotted into it as well. So yeah, there's a lot of table space required, but it is a really good game. That is the Palace of Mad King Ludwig. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTR Podcast, to find the blog and podcast at jtrpodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.